up, humans? Welcome to the future, where today we're going to be discussing my brand new Panasonic GH5. ¿Qué tal, Shedites? Bienvenidos, me llamo es Bobby, and welcome to another episode of Stoke Shed. Today, I'm going to review my Panasonic GH5. Actually, it's not really a review, it's really more like the three things that surprised me the most about this camera, because I know it's not new, I know you've seen plenty of reviews about it already, but I took this thing out to Mexico for a week on a documentary style shoot. I had the thing on for 12 to 20 hours a day. And then also I went out last night to do a commercial style shoot with my buddy Aaron, who's working on a new project, who is one of the funniest guys I know. So I really wanted to test the versatility of this camera and see how it stacked up to the variety of situations that were the reason why I bought it in the first place. So, how's it look? That's my phone. I need to take this. Alright, where were we? Okay, I'm not really like a technical person, I'm not a tech reviewer, and so what I'm not interested in really are specs, except where they're obviously like very apparent, like in the bit rates for the video. What I'm more interested in is usability, versatility, and reliability. Because what I am is a working videographer. I need a tool to create things and tell stories, and so that's just my 2 cents on that. Before we go any further, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so that I don't slip under your radar in the future. I know the algorithm is a little crazy about those sorts of things lately. And also, leave me a comment. I love hearing your feedback, and if you have anything that you want me to cover or talk about, I don't know it unless you tell me. And so, alright, with all that said, vamonos, let's go! My production company is brand new, so I'm hustling every day to spit out a variety of different kinds of content as fast as I can. I'm sure you've watched a ton of these reviews already, so I'm gonna skip the stuff you already know, like how this is an amazing camera for video producers and shoots gorgeous footage. I want to focus on what I can add to the conversation, and I'll start here. It's a fantastically reliable camera for photographers or anyone. I threw this thing all over the place in Mexico. It was covered in dust, dirt, sweat, and mud, and shooting all day long in extremely hot, direct sunlight. And even though the lenses were so hot that I could barely touch them, this thing never locked up, this thing never stuttered, and it never overheated. It is rock solid. It gave me the confidence I needed to get shots I might not otherwise have even attempted. A quick note on sensor size. My style definitely leans more towards the commercial, and I like a deeper depth of field anyway. I'm always stopping down my aperture a ways anyhow, so I wasn't bothered by the smaller sensor in that regard. These promo pics were exactly as I'd envisioned them, with lots of clean detail and plenty of room in the raw files to get the colors I wanted. Obviously, it's not perfect. The low-light autofocus in pictures is abysmal. My hit rate was atrocious. This really kind of hurt my feelings because I found it so accurate all week, but it leads me to my second point, which is that I didn't flip this camera down to manual focus all week long. That's right, I used autofocus all week long. I never turned it off. See, I used Yoda-Yo's autofocus trick, the one that's been floating around the internet right now where you switch the shutter angle down to 179 degrees instead of 180, and I don't know if that's what it is, I don't know what it was, but I found that the autofocus was completely usable the entire time. That was my chief anxiety when selecting a camera this past month. Is it going to be useful enough for a one-man crew to drop it on a gimbal and go and get footage? Other than just a few instances, I found that the autofocus worked just fine. Not perfect, but fine. So there's that. And please don't hurt me, I have cats to take care of. Here's the last thing, and I think that Hugh Brownstone has hit on this the most, and I absolutely agree with him. This camera feels really good. All of the menu functions are intuitive and they make sense. There's a reason why they're there. The My Menu function destroys any confusion that you might have in the field. All of the function buttons are put in places that make sense to actually use when you're shooting. And it fits well in my hand, unlike a lot of other mirrorless cameras that are just too small. And that's not passive aggressive. I'm actually talking about Sony's. They're kind of small, even though they're amazing. They're a little small for my giant palm. See, look how big they are. Carrying it around was super easy. I didn't feel bad about just having it in my hand while I was walking around in the wilderness, in the mountains, in the desert. It fit fine, and I didn't think I was gonna drop it at any point, even though I wasn't using a strap. I never use a strap. I hate straps. Okay, so that's it. obviously I really like this camera, and though a year and a couple of camera bodies may give me a more nuanced opinion of it, I think I might have just made this video as an opportunity to reiterate this point one more time. And it's that your craft and the story that you tell matters a lot more than your gear. So is this the best camera objectively in this price range for a hybrid shooter? Probably not for everybody. I would argue that this shoots the cleanest, most pristine video footage in its class, but I would much rather have an A7R III for photo, and the autofocus systems in the Canon and Sony cameras are definitely more dependable and reliable and accurate. What I did was made a list of the things that I needed this camera to do, and the GH5 is what fit the bill. My verdict? As a storytelling tool, the GH5 delivers. Love you guys, thanks so much for all your feedback. I'll see you with another video in a few days. I'm back on my normal schedule because I'm no longer out of the country. I'm back in this country, the one where I live. Be sure to like and subscribe, hit me up with your feedback in the comments, and go put something amazing into the world today.